During pregnancy, your iron levels affect your baby's iron levels. Iron influences baby's sleep. It has a huge impact on cognitive and brain development. And also, there's an association between low iron status and atopic conditions like food allergy and eczema. During pregnancy, your iron status has a really big impact on where baby is at. And this is especially true during the third trimester. This is when baby's iron stores really accumulate, and it's what carries them all the way up to 6 months old when they start solids and are hopefully eating a lot of iron rich foods. Which, if you're not quite sure where to go with that, I do have a class all about first foods for baby. And the focus is definitely on what nutrients optimize baby immune and brain development. You can grab this class at megangarcia.com. So, in a nutshell, low iron in mom can mean low iron in baby. Because we have all of these connections between iron status and optimal development, we really want to take care of this one nutrient. And nutrients don't exist in a vacuum, they exist in food. And so there's also a lot of networking when it comes to nutrition. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. It's worth noting too that if your iron levels are in need of support, or if you're at risk for iron deficiency anemia, then you also have a higher risk of postpartum depression. And so we really want to nurture the mom, nurture the baby, and get ahead of this as quickly as possible. So this is my 3-part plan if you are at risk or have iron deficiency anemia. My name is Megan Garcia. I have a background in traditional Chinese medicine. I focus on baby wellness and perinatal health. I use evidence-based tools and tips while sticking to the roots of holistic ancient medicine. So first off, what is anemia? Well, anemia is basically a lack of red blood cells. In traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, anemia is very closely linked to a pattern called blood deficiency. And in this pattern, we see pale tongue. When you get your period, the blood is very pale and watery. There may be dizziness and fatigue, hair loss, and a form of constipation that's related more to blood deficiency. There's different types of constipation. Some is excess heat. And again, this is an excess heat pattern. Sometimes it's a qi deficiency, but there is a type of constipation that is related to blood deficiency. And so we always want to look at the whole body, the whole person. And this is why it is a holistic medicine practice. One of the most common forms of anemia, or lack of red blood cells, comes from iron deficiency. Inflammation can also cause anemia, and it is very common to experience inflammation. And also, the focus of what we're talking about today is going to be iron deficiency anemia. To check for iron deficiency anemia, your practitioner will run routine labs that checks for things like hemoglobin, ferritin, and circulating iron. Which brings us to step 1 of your plan for iron deficiency anemia during pregnancy, and that is heme iron when possible. Heme iron is the most bioavailable form of iron, and it is only available in meat, specifically red meat, shellfish, seafood, organ meats, the dark meat of poultry. Outside of foods that contain heme iron, you can also take a heme iron supplement, and this would be something like desiccated liver or desiccated spleen. There currently is a product, it's called Lifeblood from Heart and Soil, and it contains spleen, liver, and actual blood. And this is a fantastic way to increase your own heme iron levels. Now, there are other factors that come into play. We're going to talk about that in a minute that may limit access or circulation of iron in the body, even if you're eating all the meaty foods. And that brings us to step 2. You want to get to know the iron absorption rules, and they're pretty simple once you understand them, but if you don't know them, then they're worth running through. And so we're going to do that right now. So we have heme iron, and then we have non-heme iron. Meat contains both heme and non-heme iron. Non-heme iron is what you find in plant foods, like spinach, for example, and it's also what you would find in a supplement. And plant foods also contain compounds that block the absorption of iron. And so this is things like phytic acid in grains, legumes, seeds. This will bind to iron and block its absorption. If you soak or sprout these foods, you reduce phytic acid content. Egg yolk is another one. Egg yolk contains phosphatin, and phosphatin will bind to iron. And so in general, we want to eat our eggs or our greens and legumes, separate from our iron-rich foods. Egg white has also been found to affect non-heme iron absorption. The calcium in dairy can also interfere with iron transport to the blood, and calcium impacts both heme and non-heme iron. Spinach. Now, I mentioned it a minute ago. Spinach is not the iron darling that we all think it is. It contains oxalates, which is a problem when it comes to iron and calcium. Oxalates, they interfere with the uptake of iron, and spinach contains enough calcium to block heme and non-heme iron. Now, that said, vitamin C is phenomenal when it comes to supporting iron absorption. You can find vitamin C in fruits and vegetables. My favorite source is sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is an excellent source of vitamin C, and the fermentation actually increases the vitamin C levels. According to a study published in the American Journal of Hematology in 2023, if you want to maximize iron intake, then 1, take your iron supplement in the morning. Take it away from your coffee because this contains polyphenols that block the uptake of iron. And you want to take it away from food as well, which often contains grains and legumes and eggs. So take it away from your breakfast and take it with a vitamin C rich food. And you only need, in this study, 80 milligrams of vitamin C. There is a company called Pure Synergy, and they make a vitamin C supplement, which I really love. And I think a quarter of a teaspoon of their powder supplement has around 75 milligrams of vitamin C. So whether you do juice or you do a supplement of vitamin C with your supplemented iron, you want to do those two together. Speaking of iron supplements, go with iron bisglycinate. This is easiest for your body to pick up, absorb, and use. And all of this talk about iron absorption is not just about efficiency. Actually, we do not want leftover iron in the gut. Unabsorbed iron is leftover iron. We do not want this residue because iron feeds pathogenic or bad bacteria. And this is bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli. An iron supplement, if improperly timed or maybe not the best quality, can actually lead to gut dysbiosis. And during pregnancy, especially during pregnancy, gut health and the microbiome, vaginal health, all of this is very important because you're passing it along to baby. Lastly, there is an association between low vitamin A status and anemia. And this is even if you're eating all the meaty foods, all the iron rich foods, if you're not getting enough preformed vitamin A, this is a problem. This is because vitamin A plays a role in moving iron around and making it accessible. You want to make sure you're getting enough preformed vitamin A, and this is your classic cod liver oil. This is your liver. If you want to do liver, I personally love like seared liver, and that's just pink on the inside, and raw apple. I think it's delicious. If you don't, and also you're pregnant, then that's totally fine. You can do a desiccated liver supplement, and this is fantastic for vitamin A, for zinc, for iron, for B vitamins, for choline, for a little bit of vitamin D. Fabulous. We love liver. Beef liver, lamb liver, all the liver. Step 3 of your plan when managing anemia during pregnancy is to work with a TCM practitioner. And this is because, as I mentioned before, in Chinese medicine, anemia is linked to blood deficiency. And in Chinese medicine, we have a whole category of herbs that helps to boost and tonify your blood. Now, when it comes to your particular situation, while there are herbs that directly build blood, it's best to work with a practitioner because you may have certain things going on and we want to support your pregnancy as best as possible. A very old remedy consists of 2 herbs. I'm going to share that right now. And it's the 2 herbs are kind of trendy and well known. It's astragalus and dongui. And you might see this written as dongquai. But the formula is these 2 herbs, a lot of astragalus, and it's called dongui bujuetong or dongui build blood tea. It's been found that if you take this 2 herb combination a couple of hours before your iron supplement, whether that's heme or non-heme, it can improve iron uptake and support your hemoglobin levels. Again, you want to work with a TCM practitioner to make sure that the herbs you take, even if it's just these 2 herbs, are safe for your pregnancy. Often, when we're using herbs in Chinese medicine, we may want to add herbs that help to stabilize the pregnancy or optimize the growth of baby. So, this is always worth keeping in mind. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at hello@megangarcia.com, or you can leave a question in the comment area. Until next time.